Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video I think is going to be a super valuable one that will help you guys out so much. We are looking at 5 of the most common mistakes that people make on FIFA, that if you can learn to avoid them, change your game and stop making these mistakes, it will transform you into a much better player, and naturally you will have more fun and win a lot more games. The first tip that we are going to talk about when it comes to the mistake that a lot of people make, the first mistake we're going to talk about is bad passing. We talked a bit about it in the attacking video the other day, but I'm going to show a specific example here of a game I analysed from someone. This person, honestly, was brilliant at defending and winning the ball back, putting on pressure, but at half time, I remember in the game, they had 81% passing accuracy. I'm going to go through this clip and I'm going to talk to you about, we'll get my soft pen software up as well. I'm going to talk to you about some of the bad passing they were doing and talking about how they could have avoided doing this. So like I said, passing is key on FIFA. It's one of the core fundamentals of the game. And look here. They go there. This pass is never on. The players, your only real way of playing it would be a chip through ball, which you're not going to do on Memphis Depay's freestyle weak foot. They force the pass there and they give the ball away in what was a dangerous area. So some of the common things that people do when it comes to giving the ball away with bad passes, playing passes on weak foots. You can play them sometimes, but it very much depends on how difficult the pass is. Playing a pass facing the wrong way, playing a pass that's already covered. All 3 of those happened there. So you see, he's giving the ball away in what was a really dangerous area. He wins the ball back in a second here. Let's have a look. Forces his opponent into a bad pass. Gives the ball away straight away there. Just forced a pass that wasn't there. People get impatient and play passes that there's just no point in going for. Here, this guy was always covering that pass. He was always covering that pass there. What would have been better would have been to go there and see if that pass is on. Or even recycle, go there. You don't have to always go straight for goal. Slowing it down, building up more properly to keep the ball. I don't ever want to encourage people just passing around the back or just playing stupidly safe possession. That isn't going to help you improve either. But giving the ball away and having bad pass accuracy is a surefire way to lose games. If you have 95% passing accuracy, you lose in the ball 1 in 20 passes. If you have 90%, it's 1 in 10. 80%, you are giving the ball away 1 in 5 passes. If you have 80% like the person I was doing an analysis of their game for here had, he's giving the ball away so often, there's no physical way that he's going to be able to beat a good player. You can see here, he gives it away soon again. Look here. A first time pass that wasn't there. He had plenty of time. He could have gone up there. He could have gone that way. You need to be very careful when it comes to passing. Good players, if you are giving them the ball regularly, will punish you. If you have the ball, you can score and you can't concede. If your opponent has the ball, he can score and you can't. It's very simple. Get your passing accuracy better. Don't play silly first time passes that aren't there. Don't play risky passes on weak foots. Face the right way. Use the space. If you can avoid the mistake of giving the ball away really cheaply and get your passing accuracy up, your wins will go up drastically. If you can take anything away from this video today, focus on keeping the ball better, getting your passing accuracy higher. It will make a huge difference. Are you looking to improve at FIFA? Then Underdog Gaming is the place to be. Underdog Gaming is run by me, Zelonius, and Jambu, another FIFA pro, who have been full-time content creators and pro players for the last 6 years, hitting Elite Division and Top 100 with ease every single year. We've got lots of different tiers catered to what you want, from all the way from entry-level access to a big community Discord full of people all looking to improve and get better at the game, weekly articles and videos with exclusive tips and guides and tutorials, follow backs on Twitter where you can DM us and get full access to us, coaching sessions, gameplay analysis. We'll be doing a spreadsheet which will be updated throughout the year with all the OP meta players. If you want to improve at FIFA and you're serious about taking your game to the next level, Underdog Gaming is the place to be. You can find the Patreon by going to patreon.com/underdoggaming or check the link that's in the description of this video. I look forward to seeing you guys there. Tip number 2 is going to be one that isn't gameplay related, but it will drastically affect your gameplay as the year goes on. And this is a mistake that I see people regularly tell me they've done. I've done on previous FIFAs, and it's something that if you can avoid will massively improve your FUT experience. Mistake number 2 is changing your team stupidly often. I've known people who change the team like 3 or 4 times in a weekend, never mind a week. If you change your team regularly, there's a few issues with that. One, EA charge a 5% tax when you sell a card. So if you buy a card for 100,000 coins and then sell them again for 100,000 coins, that's 5,000 coins you've lost. EA, I don't really know why they charge this tax. It annoys me that they do, but regardless, they do that. So when you change your team regularly and keep swapping and changing, you are going to lose a lot of coins over the year. Another issue that you have when you change your team regularly is you don't get used to the player. If you use a player a lot, you start to learn what he's really good at, the limits of what he can do. If he can shoot from certain angles, if he's going to win 50-50s, if he's going to get in behind when you play through balls. It might sound silly, but honestly, when you start to use players, you really understand how they can play a lot better, their body types, how they can dribble. If you're only using a player for 5-10 games, if you're only sticking to a tactic or formation for 5-10 games, how are you ever going to master it and get a lot better? Changing your team regularly is going to hurt you long term on FUT because you'll end up with a lot less coins, so you can afford a lot less better players as the year goes on. You're never going to be able to get better at the game properly because you're not going to be able to stick to a formation or tactic. And another thing really is it can just be a mental block as well that I find a lot of people have. Changing your team really is something that so many people do, and they blame their team and blame the players. Don't get me wrong, if you've not got an unlimited coin budget, it definitely will hurt you in the sense of if you're on a cheap budget, having a worse team's not going to help. Having the best teams in the game definitely does help. But I can promise you this, you can play with cheap teams. I hit 20-0 on my road to glory in the first weekend, and I'm trying to be the smartest I've ever been with coins this year. One big pitfall that I've fallen into on previous FIFAs is when a new promo comes out. So say tonight with the Rule Breakers Team 2, we're going to get like the Ribery card. I would love to try that card. But this FIFA have said I am not going to try any new cards and get them until they've been out at least a week. So any cards that get released on Friday, I'm going to buy them on the Thursday. Zeko, when he came out, was like 300k on the first night. He's 150k now. You might see a player that you're like, I have to get him. Just be patient, wait 5-6 days, and the card will drop a lot in price. Cards don't go up from after the day they've released, generally speaking. They might rise a little bit when they go back out of packs, but you can get a card a lot cheaper just by weighing them. You don't need to get a card for that weekend just because it's just come out. If you're that desperate to, it's your choice. You can do that, but someone who's speaking from experience, I've done that a lot, and it's really hurt my coin balance. Not changing your team lots will help you perform better because you know the team. It'll help you not lose coins, and in turn, by playing with the same players, you'll get better at using them, and you'll save coins to be able to upgrade to better players as the year goes on. Mistake number 2, changing your team regularly. Don't do it, it will hurt you. Let's move on to number 3. Mistake number 3 that I'm going to talk about in this video is diving in. Honestly, one of the biggest things that I notice when I coach people and I analyze games is the amount of silly goals they give away by diving in. My defensive philosophy, and if you can take that and apply it to your game, it will change how you defend and it will transform into a much better player. It's very much a case of I want to only concede goals because I've been very unlucky, and by that I mean that just so many bad things went against me, like bounces, unlucky like I tackled and it just played them in, things like that, or my opponent did something amazing. And honestly, when you look at goals, it is so rare that that's ever the case, that you just couldn't have avoided a goal, that normally there's a big mistake in there. And especially at a lower level, a lot of goals are given away by just being impatient, diving in and defending silly. Look at this goal that I scored here. This was in FUT Champs playoffs. As you can see there, he's not switching or really putting any pressure on me. Look there, he just dives in, so it gives me more space. There I've got the time and space there to do something. Pass it here, he dives in, steps forward, and then from there, it is an easy goal. Watch that back. He's just never really applying any pressure. He's never really got any structure to his defense. He's just pulling men out of position, and this ends up leading to a goal. If you can keep defensive shape and structure, hold your ground, not dive in, make yourself hard to beat, you will be such a better player. Honestly, on FIFA over the last few years, every year the AI seems to just get better and better at defending. It's even harder to break people down, especially when the gameplay gets bad, which is regular in FUT champs. That if you just don't make a silly mistake, most people are not going to score against you. So don't dive in. Don't make it easy for your opponent. Avoid that mistake. Let's look at number 4. Mistake number 4 that we are going to talk about is one of the most common ones that if you tell me you've never experienced, I won't believe you. It is playing on tilt. FUT champs isn't quite as long and the same grind it used to be. It used to be 40 games, and then it got changed to 30, and then to 20. It's a lot easier now than it used to be. But still, 20 games in a weekend is a lot. A lot of people play those 20 games in one sitting. My advice, generally speaking, would be try to split the games up if possible. I do play the 20 games in one sitting quite regularly, but I'm a pro player who can generally get 19, 20 wins in 2 to 2.5 hours. The average person isn't going to do that. It can take a lot longer, especially when you get a lot less rage quits, you go to extra time. Spacing your games out is a big way to avoid getting on tilt as much. I think that one thing I've seen a lot is that people have great starts to weekend. They lose a game that they probably didn't deserve to. They got rigged, they got really bad luck. That can happen a lot in FIFA. There's a lot of really frustrating mechanics on this game, like the crazy long shots, the press. You'll often lose games where you think, yeah, you definitely could have avoided losing it by playing a bit better, but you mostly got unlucky. You start getting tilted, you start getting annoyed, you start doing things that you know you shouldn't, but you just can't help it. In the Patreon that I run, there was someone in there the other day who said he'd lost like 20 games in a row, hadn't won in 20 games. My advice to him, I said, was, I'm not trying to be patronising, I just want to help you, but it's take a little bit of a break, think about some of the mistakes you were making, look at some of the goals you were conceding, and from there, thank you to Chikoro who subscribed on that recording, and from there, make sure you take that, improve. He took a little bit of a break, came back, won a load of games in a row, and got to the next division in Rivals. Having a break sometimes, whilst it might not feel good at the time, definitely can help. Playing on tilt is just going to end up making you hate the game, get worse results, get worse rewards in turn. Take a step back, try take a little bit of a break. Don't let tilt ruin your weekend. Don't let it make you lose more games. It's not worth it. It's something that everyone at some point has probably done. Even if it's just taking a step back and having a little bit of fresh air, 2 minutes before the next game. If you've just had a stupid game that you didn't deserve to lose, take a couple of minutes break. If you've had a game that was really close and you managed to just scrape it, take a little break. All these things are going to help you get better results. Let's look at the 5th and final mistake. The 5th and final mistake I'm going to talk about is one that I think the lower the level you go, the more of an issue it becomes. It is being too predictable. Pro players, one of the things that makes them so good is that they are unpredictable because they can score in a variety of ways. Some of the ways that I score goals on this FIFA. Corners. I have 4 different corner techniques that if someone's marking one, I know how I can score with another. Skill moves. I have probably 6, 7, 8 skill moves that I know I can do around the box to mix it up to catch people out. Chip through balls. Finesse shots. Trivellas. There's all sorts of ways that I know how to score on this game. It's the same when it comes to defending. Sometimes I'll sit deep and let the AI press for me. Sometimes I'll put team press on and be really aggressive. There's lots of different ways that I can play to try catch an opponent out. The best players on this game, you will never know what they're going to do. A lot of people though, unfortunately, we'll get to another game here so you can see gameplay in the background. A lot of people only play in one way. They only have one plan. That plan might be just always look for the long shot. I even play people in the top elite division where all they're doing is spamming chip through balls and long shots. And yes, they're very good at doing them, and it's one of the reasons they've got to the elite division. But when they're playing someone who knows that's all they're going to do, and I know how to stop them, it's a lot easier. If you can add a few different ways of playing, you will become so much better at the game. Look how I'm diving in as well, by the way. I do a lot of these mistakes. It's not just lower level players do it. I'm in the elite division, hit 20 and O's. I do a lot of these stupid mistakes. So, yeah, it can happen to everyone. But like I say, a lot of lower level people that I coach, they just do one thing. Or they might be down in a game and not turn a constant pressure tactic on. They have no plan B. Having a plan B, being unpredictable, makes it a lot harder for your opponent to deal with you. And if you're a lot harder for your opponent to deal with, you are going to get much better results. It might sound obvious, but like I say, so many people playing the exact same way that yes, it works against some people, but when you start to play better people, it will really punish you. Be unpredictable. Have a plan B for when you're winning games, when you're losing games. Have a plan B for when it comes to how to break someone down in the box. Don't always defend in the exact same way. If you can do this, you will become a much better player. So we've looked at a lot of mistakes there. Changing your team, diving in lots, giving the ball away, playing on tilt, and the last one, what did we just do? Yeah, being unpredictable. Hopefully this will help you. I think this game here I ended up quitting. I would like to say it wasn't rage quit. If I think that I've probably already lost the game, I tend to quit it just for my own sanity, to make sure that I don't end up getting too tilted. But like I say, hopefully all these tips about avoiding these mistakes will help you guys a lot. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Learn to avoid these mistakes. It will transform your game, make you a much better player, help you get a lot more wins. I've been Zelonius. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.